Welcome to Little Likac. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the UK. This is a knitting and crochet podcast, This is a knitting and crochet podcast where I chat about what I'm knitting, what I have knitted or crocheted, what's coming up. And I also run a little business, dyeing my own hand-dyed yarn. That's a bit redundant, wasn't it? Dyeing yarn, a few notions and patterns and things like that on Etsy. So yes, welcome. My name is Amanda, as I said. If you are new to the channel, then really big welcome. Please consider subscribing and liking the video if you do like it. And if you are a returning viewer, then thank you. Thank you for continuing to come back and seeing what I'm up to. So what have I got for you today? Well, today, excuse me. Today I haven't got any proper finished objects. I have got some squares done on a blanket that I'm going to show you. I've got a new cast on, works in progress. I might have some more acquisitions and also some giveaways, 2 giveaways this week that I'm going to talk about. So that's what's happening. I will talk a little bit about, will I tell you a little bit? Well, probably as I'm telling you about my acquisitions, I might tell you a bit about my life as well. Before I carry on though, I do just want to acknowledge something extremely important, momentous, historical that has happened in the UK this week. I'm sure that everybody knows what I'm referring to. Today's date is Sunday the 11th of September, and on Thursday Queen Elizabeth II, Her Majesty, died. And whether you are a royalist or not, whether you like the monarchy or not, I think everybody can agree it's kind of shifted the mood of the nation and of the country, and you can get away from it if you want. You know, you can sit and watch coverage on it about it on TV all day if you want to, or there are other programs that you can still watch. It has already affected certain things and certain sporting events and things like that. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that. Personally, I'm not a Republican. I wouldn't say I'm a staunch royalist. I guess my own views are my own views. I'm just happy the way things are. Our monarchy, although technically they're head of state, they don't really have a political role, but I do think what they do for Britain and the status of Britain is quite important. So that's my personal opinion. Please don't come for me. I don't want to get into a political argument about it, but I wanted to acknowledge the fact because yeah, it has felt quite different the last few days. There is a real sort of mood of change, I suppose. We've had a new Prime Minister and a new monarch in the space of a couple of days, which is just crazy. And every time I see on the news or on the TV anything that comes up about King Charles III or Queen Elizabeth's death, it feels like I'm in some kind of science fiction dystopian programme, because that's normally when you see those kinds of things used in TV programmes over here in the UK, it's a way of showing that something's set slightly in the future. So yeah, if we're all a bit discombobulated over here in the UK, I'm sure you understand why. And yeah, just please bear with us as we adjust to the new order. Alright, okay, so that being said, life carries on, and knitting carries on, whatever happens, and there's something quite comforting about knitting, I guess, as well, isn't there? Our crafting, our knitting, our crochet can give us comfort, actually, when things do feel unsettled. And I think, actually, that was a term some of my students at school used on Friday morning when we talked about it, and some of them said they just felt unsettled, and I thought, yes, I think I understand, because none of us were quite sure what was going to happen next. So, yes, knitting and crochet, though, settles us, brings us comfort, brings us some kind of consistency and routine. So first thing I'm going to show you in my Emma Ball design bag. I love her designs, and I love things like with the sheep and the llamas and alpacas and things. I love these designs. In here is my Stitch on Sunday blanket, and I said last podcast that if I was going to get this finished for Christmas, I needed to work out how many squares per week I needed to do. And it turns out I need to do 2 squares a week if I'm going to get it finished for Christmas, to give it as a Christmas present to my in-laws. So that is what I've been attempting to do. So I have done 4 squares, or completed 4 squares, since I last saw you. So that 2 weeks ago. So that's good. I need to have another 4 completed. So the Stitch on Sunday blanket is a blanket of each square, 40 squares in total. Each one is made up of a lace design. It is a free pattern available through RowRowandKades or Kelly Menzies on her blog. And originally, well, if you sign up for it as a newsletter, she sends you one pattern per week. I think it's all available in one on the website as well. Maybe it's different blog posts. So over the last 4 weeks I have completed, this is square number 8. I'm going to be honest as well and say that a few of them have got little mistakes in them. A few of them may be a bit longer or shorter than others. I'm just going to, well, we'll stretch out the ones that need to be a bit longer, won't we? And, you know, and as for the mistakes, this is a gift for my in-laws and their eyesight isn't very good. So they're not going to notice. Anyway, so this is week 8. I think I had just started on that when I saw you 2 weeks ago. This is week 9. This one's definitely got a mistake in. I definitely missed out a row. So they always look like little houses. And one of the rows of houses is a little bit shorter than the rest because I made a mistake. But cute. That's week 9. This is week 10, which I really love. Really like that one. Week 10. And week 11 that I did this morning. So I'm using Stylecraft Special DK and the colours that I've just shown you. 1065 Meadow, 1061 Plum, I didn't show you one of those, 1062 Teal, and 1827 Fuchsia Purple. And the 5th colour that I'm using, which I haven't used this last fortnight, is Pale Rose 1080. So the next square that I knit will be in that colour. So that's coming on. Aim is, as I say, to complete 2 a week so that I get it finished and all sewn together. I will probably crochet it together, ready to give to my parents-in-law for Christmas. So 4 sort of finished objects completed there. Did I put them? I'm just knitting those on bamboo needles, straight needles, so I'm now just looking for to make sure I put those back in. Can't find them. There we go. So yeah, I'm just using some straight bamboo needles for those. Don't know why I'm using straights. Probably just not to take up another cable. So yeah, that'll go back up with me. What I have been doing is I've been trying to do maybe an hour each day on that if I can. The trouble is with it, each square obviously you're doing a different design, so it takes a couple of repeats of the design for you to get your head into it, and so yeah, it's a bit slower than I would like because I'm on a deadline, but there we go. So yes, that is the first thing to show you. Oh, I haven't done what I'm wearing either, have I? So what I'm wearing, you may recognise this pattern, it was really popular last summer. It is the Summer Sorrel t-shirt by the designer Wool and Pine. I absolutely love this. I knitted this last summer and wear it quite a lot. I did it kind of as a fade, so you can see, I mean I talked about it last year when I knitted it. So we've got, I think this was a Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit yarn, and they're not dyeing anymore, which is a real shame. Then I had a yarn that I dyed myself, and then a bright pink one which was a mystery one that I'd got in a D-stash somewhere. So I dyed this yarn to kind of go between that one and that one, and it worked out really well. So I love this, really comfy. The only thing I'd say about it is it does have quite a loose neckline, and lots of people comment on that actually. Okay, so what else have I been working on? So I've been working on things that I've got kind of got deadlines for. So the Stitch on Sunday blanket I've been working on. And, oh, that's a new cast on, that's not something I've got a deadline for. Sort of have, but I'll show you that in a minute. I've also been working on the Treelight sweater by Jennifer Steingass. This is in this lovely bag that I got from a seller on Etsy. I can't remember the name of them. Really great big bag though. Excuse me. So this is a colourwork yoke design, but you knit it from the bottom up. So at the moment, because all the colourwork is in the yoke, at the moment I'm doing the body going up, the sleeves going up, and I haven't got to the colourwork yet. However, I've made quite a lot of progress, because last time you saw this, here's the body. Last time you saw this, I had finished the body section, so that's waiting now for the, I really ought to take it off the needles, so that's waiting to get attached to the yoke. And looking at where I put the progress keeper, I had finished that. So I've also, ta-da, done one sleeve as well. Oh, look at that pretty stitch marker I'm using. That was gifted to me by Mandy from Mandy Mouses Makes podcast. So yes, I've finished one sleeve. So that's pretty good progress as well. Deadline for this, ideally the middle of October when my daughter's birthday, but certainly the end of October when I will be going up to visit my daughter at uni. So you can see this is knitted in the round. Did I do this all on DPNs? Yes, I think I did do it all on DPNs, which hasn't laddered too badly. You can see maybe a little bit of a gap there, and obviously that's where the beginning of the row was, beginning of the round. I do like the way though that this yarn is knitting up. It is a commercial yarn, but it is knitting with a kind of like a hand-dyed effect, which I really like. So I'm really pleased, because if I can get another sleeve done in the next 2 weeks before I see you again, then I'm going to say I'm probably going to be on track to have that finished by the deadlines that I've got. So the yarn that I'm using, this is where we get my great pronunciations. The yarn that I'm using is the Casual Soft by Schachenmayr. I'm going with that. Which is 73% cotton and 19% wool, 8% viscose. And it just seems to be nice and soft, but it's got a little bit of stickiness to it, so I really am hoping that the colour work's going to work. The shade that the majority of it is knitted in is this one, which I don't know what the name of the shade was, but it's 0005. I think it was like latte or cappuccino, some kind of coffee colour. And then the colour work, when I eventually get to the colour work, is going to be in pink, lilac and cream. So yes, really, really hoping that the next time you see this, the other sleeve will be done, and maybe it will all be together on one needle, ready to start on the yoke. So if you're interested, this one, the colour for this is 00035. This one 00047, and this one 00002. I've actually got a whole load of this, because when I ordered the yarn I kind of made a mistake and I ordered a pack of this, and it's like 10 balls of this instead of the beige, so I reordered it, so I've got a full pack of that as well. So yes, the design is at the moment really straightforward. And actually, I've done quite a lot of colour work recently, so I'll show you what else I've been working on. So by the time I get to the yoke on this, I think I'll probably do the yoke in a neater way than I would have done had I started the yoke on this. I've got to be honest though, I started this back in the spring, maybe March time, and then my excuse, well, once I realised that all it was to do first was stocking stitch, I got bored very quickly, and then my excuse was, well, she won't need it till the autumn anyway. Well, now it is nearly the autumn, so time to crack on with it. But yes, feel like I've made good progress. Like I say, if I can get another sleeve done on that, plus 2 squares on the blanket, the next time I see you, then I am on track for all of these things. There's something else with a deadline, although this is completely, well, they're all self-imposed deadlines, aren't they? But this really is a self-imposed deadline. Is another colourwork sweater. And I just mentioned that I've kind of got into colourwork a lot recently. Everything I knit, I want to do colourwork, I want to do colourwork. So this is the Here Comes the Sun sweater, which is by Handmade Closet. I can't remember the designer's actual name anyway. But yeah, Handmade Closet. She's a relatively new designer, has got lots of designs, mostly colour work, I think. So last time you saw this, I was still on the body and I had done the top colour work. So I'll show you what I've done since then. So I had done the yoke, and oops, let me just untangle this. Yeah, so I've done all the bottom colour work now and the bottom ribbing. Absolutely love this, just love it. I decided to knit it with the shorter sort of, I think I did add an extra inch of length compared to what it said, but I decided not to do it too long. I mean, I've got plenty of the cream, but I thought actually I think this would be nice to try, excuse me, maybe to try and wear this over a dress or something. So yeah, I've kept it relatively short, and then I've also done that much of that arm sleeve and started on the other side of the sleeve. Now the reason why I've stopped that one there and then done that is because there's colour work to do on the sleeves. Oh, look at it. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be so nice. There is colour work to do on the sleeves, and I've still got pretty much 2 full balls of this colour, but I've only got this much of the blue. So I'm thinking the next, oh, and a tiny bit of orange. So once I've got to the colour work section on the other sleeve, I'm going to weigh this and divide it in half, same with the orange, and then do the colour work on each arm as we go, making sure then that I've got, you know, so I'll do section in blue on one sleeve, section in blue on the other, just to make sure that I don't run out of wool. And then the ribbing on the sleeves will be in this pink as well. So the yarn that I'm using for this, if you are a regular viewer, you may well remember that I bought this in Italy. So this is amazing for me. I only bought this yarn maybe less than 6 weeks ago, and I've already nearly finished it in a project. That's pretty unusual for me. It is an Italian yarn, and I actually found out that the company name isn't the Betula, that's just, I think, the brand within the company. The company anyway is L'Unico Tinto Solo con Erbi, and it's Italian. And anyway, I'm not going to try and pronounce anything else. Just going to hold it there. I am surprised that nobody commented on my pronunciations from last week. I mean, I guess I did say let's never talk about it again, and you guys took me at my word. Nobody said anything. Bless you. Thanks very much. The bag and notions pouch. Oh, isn't it beautiful? You saw this last time. This was gifted to me from Mandy from Mouse's Make. So when I met up with her a couple of weeks ago, we gave each other a present each, and she gave me this beautiful bag, which I just love. A nice big notions pouch that goes with it. So, deadlines. I said then I want to try and have this finished to wear it on the 24th of September. Although the way the weather has been in the UK, it's still, the temperature is still higher than our average kind of September temperatures. So the way the weather is going, I'm not going to be wearing it going round Yarndale because I'm going to be too hot in it. So we'll see, but I would like to have it finished by then just as well, because there's so many other things I want to work on. So loving that. I'm going to be honest and say some of the colour work is not terribly even, but last podcast I showed you a colour work book that I had got, and I did do a little bit of reading on that and a little bit of checking out some things, and I think I've got a more even way of doing my colour work now. Whereas before, I was just doing my own thing really, never been taught how to do colour work, never really by the time all sort of like the stuff, YouTube and everything came about, I'd already been doing colour work, and so I don't know, I wasn't fussed about whether I was doing it right or not, I was just doing it. But yes, the whole idea of the yarn dominance, the colour dominance, I'd never even knew that was a thing until recently, and then so I have read up on that, and now making a real effort to understand the idea of yarn dominance and colour dominance, and working on that. So yeah, that's why I say hopefully when I do the Jennifer Steingass, when I get to the colour work on that, the colour work is going to pop that little bit more. So that is the Here Comes the Sun sweater. Just really happy with it though. Just got to be a bit careful because I think you can see that the needles, the DPNs, the sleeves aren't terribly long. So let's get caught up. So. Okay, so that project should be finished next time I see you. Fingers crossed. I should have 4 squares done on the blanket and the second sleeve done on the Steingass. We will see. Because I also got distracted, as you do. So I've already mentioned Mandy a couple of times from the Mouseless Makes podcast. Really enjoy her podcast. She's just so down to earth, and when I met her in real life it was just lovely, because I've been watching her podcast and we sometimes are on Zoom together. Felt like I would say I knew her and felt like she was a friend already. So when I met up with her, it was just lovely. And she is running a make-along on her podcast, and the make-along is for the autumn and October. So I remembered on my Make 9, remember that? Remember Make 9s? We all did it in January. Here are 9 projects I'm going to definitely get done this year, or maybe get done this year. I'll try to get done this year. I remember that on my Make 9 list was a set of mitten patterns, and a whole set of them. There's 6. Now I wasn't planning to try and do all 6, but I did say I was going to want to do at least 1 pair of these mittens, maybe 2. I bought the yarn for this pattern, for this pattern. I bought the yarn for this, I want to say 7 years ago, maybe more, probably about 7 years ago. And I bought it from Knitpicks. I actually bought the pattern and the yarn from the Knitpicks website in the US. And it was sold as a kit, although I couldn't find the download of the pattern. So anyway, I went back and bought the pattern separately, I think at the beginning of this year. And I think the whole set is called Woodland Mitts, or Woodland Mittens. And there's a set of 6 designs to go through for the months through from October to March. So October, November, December, January, February, March. And there were maybe 3 of the designs I really, really liked. The other 3 I wasn't so bothered about. So I bought all the yarn and the pattern. And as I say, I've been sitting around for ages. But I decided, because Mandy was doing an autumn/October make-along, and I knew one of these sets of mittens was for October, and it was one of the mittens that I really liked, I thought I'm going to start on those. Plus I'm all about the colour work at the moment. Now one thing I will say is that they have come up very small, and that, reading on the Ravelry, that seems to be a common issue. So the second mitten that I'm going to do will be in the same, I'll use the same needle size, but I think if I do a second pair, I will go up a needle size. Haven't got the thumb on it, so it's going to look a little bit strange, but this is... Look at that. And then, ta-da! If I do this, I'm really hoping that YouTube will pick this as a thumbnail, because thumbnail, see, thumbnail, so funny. Yeah, so look at that. I'm really, really pleased with it for lots of reasons, including, like I say though, I've kind of learnt a bit about colour dominance on colour work. So the black is very much the background colour, and the colour of the leaves is popping out, and I'm really impressed with my even tension. That's where the round starts each time. Only thing I'd say is the way they get you to do the decreases has meant it's a little bit holy maybe. So I don't know, I might do the decreases slightly differently next time. Still got the thumb to do. Reading again on Ravelry, a lot of people have said that the thumb size is a bit small, so I might add a few extra stitches and just excuse me, just do plain black up the top in the middle of the thumb, and then the colour work around the middle. So I need to keep an eye, make sure it's going to be long enough. It is just about long enough for my fingers. I can fit it on. Loads of people on Ravelry said it's so small they can't wear them, even the bigger size. I can wear it. It does feel a little bit tight. I mean, there's part of me thinking as well with blocking it would ease up a bit as well. But yeah, I might do, I think I'll definitely have to make the cuff perhaps a little bit longer next time as well. So, but I'll do this second mitt for this, matching obviously, I don't want one. But when I do the next design, which might be another 10 years, so I better make a note of all this, hadn't I? I think I would do a little bit longer on the cuffs. It's 2.25mm needles for the rib, and then 2.5mm needles for the colour work. So if I was going to do it again, I think I'd still stick to 2.25 on the rib, but maybe go up to 2.75 on the colour work. Really, really pleased with these. They're gorgeous. So, should I tell you about the yarn? So the yarn is a Knitpicks yarn. They did this design in two different colourways. There was more muted colours, or there were bright colours, and I really liked the bright actually. I quite like muted colours, but I really liked the bright. It was that attracted me to the pattern. So just in this mitten, it uses a lot of different colours. You got the black, and the actual, it is Knitpicks palette. The black. So we've got the black, which is black, and then in this one we have got this colour is sweet potato. It's about 3 different shades of orange. So we've got sweet potato, which is 2289. So as I say, yeah, it's Knitpicks palette. So sweet potato. We have another orange, kumquat heather, which is a brighter kumquat heather, colour C988. So if I put the two of those together, you can see then that that one is brighter than that one. And there is a third orange. Oh, it's lost its label. Oh no, I hope I've got these the right way around now. Yeah, this one is just called orange. This is actually what I started to do with the first one, to cut a bit off, so I must do that actually. So, so that I've got those two oranges the right way around, because they will get used in the other designs. So yeah, that one is 1990, which is just orange. This one is Semolina, not the nicest of names, is it? Which is this yellow, almost a mustardy yellow. Semolina 6240. It looks like there's lots of colours, and there are, but you never use, in one row, you never use more than one, never use more than 2 colours at a time. So it's always black with just one colour in a round. So you're never trying to use 3 different colours in one round, because that's when I get, what do you do then about yarn dominance, etc. Anyway, and then this one, oh, I didn't say what this one was called, did I? This one is called Tranquil. Don't know what I've got set up there on my watch. This one's called Tranquil 1688, and this one is called Peapod 6315. So yeah, you can see, you probably see it clearer here, the 3 different oranges, the yellow, the green, and then into the sort of like the bluey green. So yeah, it's called Woodland Mitts. The pattern is from Knitpicks website, and apart from the fact that they knit up small, I would thoroughly recommend the pattern. I can't remember how much the pattern was. I will try and do one of those cards for it, so I'll look up to see if it's still available, what the price of it is now. But oh my goodness, just love the colours, and I'm just so proud of myself for the evenness of this colour work. I think that's the most even colour work I've ever done. Okay. If you remember as well, last week I did buy a load, or last time I saw you, I had bought a load of ski peas yarn in different colours, where I'm going to design my own colourwork cowl, or scarf, which is why I've been reading the colourwork books. Okay, so those are all my works in progress and my new cast on. Everything on here has been really worked on. I mean, these mittens have knitted up really quickly as well. I only started them a few days ago. Something about colourwork though, I always find, something about colourwork, I always find that I just want to get on to the next bit, the next section, the next row, and I love just watching the picture emerge. This project bag, by the way, is from an Etsy seller who I know is still making and selling. She's called Clara Rose Designs, and oh, she has some beautiful bags. So this just leads me on. I've got a giveaway to do, so we're going to do that next, and then I'll show you acquisitions. Yes, I've got some cheapy acquisitions, charity shop acquisitions, and then some half price acquisitions, and then one thing at full price. So that's not bad for me. But giveaway. So I bought all this stuff, this yarn recently, and so I am trying to use stash yarn as well. But also what I'm trying to do is, when I've finished a project and I've got yarn left over, if I know that if I haven't got something definite I want to use that yarn left over, I'm trying to kind of move it on. So that brings me to this lovely cotton yarn that I have, that I made my pink cotton top from a few weeks ago. That was on the podcast a few weeks ago. And it's Serda Luxury Soft Cotton. And I bought this in a charity shop anyway. And I only used 3.5 balls to make a short sleeve cotton top for me. So there I have still got 3 full balls of this, plus a few odds and ends. I mean, that's probably nearly half a ball. So I've got 3 full balls plus odds and ends. So I must have at least 3.5. They're 50 gram balls. So I must have nearly 200 grams left, but each one, it's 4 ply fingering weight, so each one is, sorry, I can't see how much meterage it's got, I'm sorry, 50 grams, can't read it. 225 yards, so just over 200 metres, I think that is. Just over 200 metres, so we've got 200, 400, at least 600, probably 700 metres. And I would say it's definitely enough for somebody else to do a top, a summer top, a short sleeve top, obviously depending on what size you are. So I would like to donate this to somebody else. I am going to say it's got to be UK only, I'm afraid, because the cost of postage at the moment is just too much, so I'm really sorry about that. If you would like to win this yarn, you need to leave a comment on today's video. Excuse me. You need to like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, please, okay, and then leave a comment that includes the word cotton in the comment, because when I do the comment picker I will look for that. Now the reason also I want you to definitely leave the word cotton is because I've got another bit of yarn that I'm going to give away as well, and that's made from bamboo. So if you want to win the cotton, then you need to put a comment that says cotton in it, okay? Even if it is, I'd love to win the cotton yarn, Amanda, or I would knit such and such with that cotton, so something like that. If you want to win the bamboo, then you need to leave a second comment including the word bamboo. Now the bamboo doesn't have any labels on it, but I can assure you it is Serda Just Bamboo, which is kind of more of a tape yarn. And I did a sleeveless vest top in this. Again, 50 gram balls, and I have still got 5 balls of this. So you could definitely do a child's sweater or cardigan, or again maybe a, because I think I had 10 balls, so I only, again, you only used half of it. So if you would like to enter to win that, and again I'm sorry, UK only, then leave a comment that includes the word bamboo. Okay, so if you want to win both, then leave 2 comments. Please like the video, be a subscriber, and then enter away. And I will do the draw for that. Now, talking of doing draws, that also reminds me that I still haven't given anything away for the little Likac Christmas in July, and I feel really bad about that. So next podcast, I was going to do it today. In fact, I will do it today, and I'm going to put a photo of the picture of the prize up here. Got to decide what I'm giving away. Actually, what I'll do is I will send you I will send out a set of minis. I will give away some minis. You'll get 500 gram minis from me. Okay, so sorry about that. I'll do it next. I'll do it next time because my phone's over there and everything. So I did have a look. There was probably about 20-25 entries for the little Likac Christmas in July. In fact, let's just say, if you knitted anything, if you've knitted anything so far that's for Christmas, feel free to hashtag it on Instagram now with LL Christmas in July 22, and I will add you in, and we will do a draw next month or next podcast, because I was so rubbish with Christmas in July because I ended up being horrendously busy. So next year I'm not going to do anything special for Christmas in July. Or maybe I'll do a Christmas in April or Christmas in September. But I can't do if I'm going to be exam marking like I was this year. So yes, if you've got anything that you have made ready for Christmas yet and you want to stick it in the drawer, then do it, and you will get a set of minis from me. I will pick out 5 minis in nice colours and send them to you, international or UK. So LL Christmas in July MAL 22 was the hashtag. If it's anything different, I will have changed it. I'll make sure it's down there. So yeah, 2 more weeks, get stuff in, and I will do a proper draw and show you the minis and everything like that next week, next podcast. And I am sorry for being so rubbish about that. I have emailed the winner of the pinafore dress. I have emailed her the pattern, did that today, and also I have sent her the yarn as well that I had left over from that. See, another way to pass the yarn on. So that is what I am getting rid of, and obviously anything that I finish, but I have got some more yarn. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you my acquisitions, and then I am going to do a quick shop update as well, because I have been dyeing some more yarn recently. So I'm going to do a quick shop update as well before I finish today's podcast. So firstly, what have I bought? Last weekend, some of you know that I attempt to do a bit of running. I say a bit of attempt. And I try and go to park runs. And last week, I went to a park run where I did happen to know that there was a yarn shop actually where the park run is held. So that's in Rosleston, which is in Staffordshire. It's just over the Staffordshire border. It's about a half an hour drive for me. Not that far really, is it? And it's at Rosleston Forestry Centre. And in the little forestry centre, they've got a few shops and cafe and things like that. And there is a wool shop. And it's a lovely wool shop. They've got quite a mix. You know, they've got style craft. They had got some fibre spates. They'd got a little bit of West Yorkshire spinners. I'm trying to think if they've got Rowan. I think they had some Rowan. They had some Rico. And they also had Debbie Bliss, but they were getting rid of all their Debbie Bliss because apparently Debbie Bliss has stopped selling to yarn stores or to independent yarn stores. You can't buy Debbie Bliss, or they can't, but independent yarn stores can no longer buy Debbie Bliss yarn in, which was a bit of a shock to me, to be honest. But anyway, because of that, apparently lots of yarn shops have been selling off what they have got of Debbie Bliss. They've been selling it off because they can't get any more in. So look out for that, guys. Look out for reduced Debbie Bliss yarn. So yeah, they were selling off all their Debbie Bliss books, and all their Debbie Bliss yarns were at half price. Well, you know me, I can't resist a bargain, and Debbie Bliss yarns are nice, so I had to have a look. So I went, did my park run, and then turned up at the shop a little bit sweaty, and I said, very sorry if I'm a bit smelly, but he was probably used to it, the guy. He was lovely as well. So I went into and rummaged. There was a beautiful grey lilac yarn that they'd got in the Debbie Bliss. Can't remember what it was, but they'd only got 3 balls of it. And I rummaged through and I couldn't find any other balls. I think it might have been DK weight, but I couldn't find any more in that colour or any other colour of the same yarn. So it was in my basket for a while, but I did put that back because I was like, what am I going to do with 3 balls of it? But they did have quite a few balls of this Debbie Bliss Rialto 4-ply in this lovely green. It's kind of a minty green, similar I guess actually to what I knitted my love note in earlier this year, and everybody said how much that colour suited me. So so it's Debbie Bliss Rialto 4-ply, which is 100% extra fine merino, yeah, extra fine superwash merino. So they've got 7 balls of that, which I thought, not sure if that's quite enough for myself for a sweater, because I was trying to work it out in if I was buying indie dyed yarn, 100 gram skeins, 400 metres. So would 3 balls be enough to do something full sleeved? And no, it wouldn't. With 3.5 balls, no, it probably wouldn't. So how many metres is this? I'm going to assume it's probably about 200 metres per 50 gram ball. Trying to find this information on these sometimes, it's really difficult. Cannot find the meterage. Anyway, the colourway is, well, the number is 22056. I've got 7 balls, all the same dye lot. Cannot find the meterage on this, but anyway, as I say, wasn't sure if 7 balls, 350 grams, would be enough for a sweater for me, but they had got 1 ball of each of these colours as well. Goodness, I do tend to use the same colours, don't I? It's a lovely tip. But anyway, look at those 3 together. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? And in my head, I knew there was a colourwork cardigan with a yoke. I thought it was called Flossie, but I actually think now it's called Floozy. And there's a good chance that I could do this, use this to do that cardigan. If I haven't got, there'll be one of those things as well that I'll, if I've not got enough to do it full sleeves, then it can just be a short sleeve cardigan. But I'm thinking colourwork yoke, all about the colourwork, and then the main body in this lovely green. So that's going to be a really lovely spring project. So you never know, it might be on my Make 9 next year. So I've got all of that, 7 balls of this, and 1 pink and 1 teal. This colourway is 2234, and this colourway is 22018. Just in case you go on and look for it online. I suspect if you go on eBay, I suspect you might find eBay or independent yarn stores are selling off Debbie Bliss cheap, so check it out. It was half price, so it was like £15 for 9 balls of Debbie Bliss yarn. Can't really complain about that, can you? So, got that spring project, so that can go away for a while. So I bought that, and then I was saying to this guy at this shop, I was going, oh really, yeah, you've got some lovely things here. And I was going, oh, have you got any sock wool? Because I hadn't spotted any sock wool. He said, oh yes, we do have sock wool. He said, oh, have you seen Rico's new cashmere sock yarn? No, I haven't. I have now. I have some in my hand. So he showed me, oh my goodness, it's the softest. It is a 100 gram ball, but it's done in this style. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness, it's so soft. So soft. So this is Superba Cashmere Rico luxury socks. It is 65% wool, 25% polyamide, 10% cashmere. and it is so soft. So I did ask him, because I looked at it and I thought, I don't think that's self-striping. I said, what's it knit up like, because I don't want something that's going to pull. And so we had a quick look on Ravelry at some various projects, and it looks to me like the majority of it will be in this purple, and then these will just be kind of like flashes, odd lines of these, and I thought, oh, I quite like that. So yeah, that's just the softest yarn ever, and that's what I needed, more sock yarn. Price wise, I think it was £12.99, so not as cheap as something like Opal or Regia, but not as expensive as hand dyed, and it is, obviously it's got cashmere in it as well, and it is super soft. Really, really soft. Beautiful. So I bought that as well. Yeah, so those were all my, so that was full price. The Debbie Bliss was half price. And then bargains, went in the charity shop yesterday, and so I belong to a couple of knit groups, and one of the knit groups that I'm on, we have a group chat on Messenger, and one of the ladies had posted some pictures of some yarn a few weeks ago and said, does anybody want any of this? Giving it away basically. And at the time I was like, be strong, and I was like, no, I don't need any of that, and didn't reply to it. She donated it to our local charity shop. You know what I'm going to tell you, don't you? Yeah. So there was 500 grams, 10 full balls of this, which is Serdar Suki. And I don't know, I guess on the picture, I didn't think that much of it, or didn't really look at it. But actually in person, I thought, oh, I like that. It's got sequins, small sequins in it. And I have in my head the idea of maybe kind of like a lacy, lightweight top that could be like an evening top for winter. But having said that, I've now got to find something, because I've got 10 balls. I think something, as I say, that's going to be a bit lacy. Hopefully I'll have enough yarn to do it. And it's got this sort of sparkly silver and little sequins. So need to look for a design for that, a pattern for that. 50p a ball. To be fair, I mean, actually I messaged the lady and I said, you're never going to believe this, I went and bought this in the charity shop. But then, like we said, it meant anyway, in the charity got a little bit of money. And it was only 50p a ball, so, you know, it wasn't exactly very expensive. So there was that, and then this, £1.50. Now, it's a hot water bottle cover kit. I'm really not bothered about the hot water bottle cover. It's not even a very nice hot water bottle cover. However, 3 balls of Starcraft Special K for £1.50. That'll just go in my blankets. That will just go in my blankets. And it could be that I use one of those to crochet the blanket I'm working on. I could use that white as the edging, or that blue as the edging for the blanket I'm working on at the moment. So at 50p a ball again for those 3 balls, I thought, yeah, I'll have that. So those are my acquisitions. So £6.50, £5 for 10 balls of that, and £1.50 for that Starcraft. Not bad. Right, before I go then, I'm just going to show you the latest yarns that I have dyed and ready for my shop update. I'm going to show you this one first, because this is, without a doubt, my favourite. I'm going to unwrap it in a minute as well, because I only dyed it yesterday, and if I'm honest, it's still damp, so I need to unravel it and let it dry out properly. But, so here in the UK, one of my favourite programmes to watch over winter is Strictly Come Dancing. In America, it's called Dancing with the Stars, and I know there are versions of it in so many countries around the world. Ours starts hopefully next week, although I have heard rumours that they may not do the launch show next weekend, because it's going to be the weekend just before the Queen's funeral. So we will see, but it's about to launch. And last year I joined in with the Strictly Sock Along that's run by Little Drops of Wonderful, is her podcast. And so I decided I was going to dye myself up something sparkly to join in on the sock along, and then I thought, in fact, actually I'll dye a few up and put it in the shop. So this is called Strictly Sparkle. It is 75% merino. It's really soft. 75% merino, 10% stellina, 15% nylon. It is really soft, and it is really sparkly because it's 10% stellina. It's really sparkly. I mean, you could make a shawl from this and it'd be really pretty. Colours, it's got very small amounts of kind of pink, but it's mostly blues and sort of greys, and it's really hard to describe the colours, but I'm so pleased with how it came out. It's one of those that as I was dyeing it, I liked it. Then when it was in the pan kind of dyeing, I kept looking at it going, oh, I don't know now, I'm not sure. And then now that it's dried, or nearly dried, and when it's skeined up like this, I'm like, oh, that's lovely. So there's only a few skeins of it. I only ever dye 2 or 3 skeins of anything at a time anyway, because everything has to be done in pans, small pans in my kitchen. But yes, so I'm keeping 1 skein for myself, and there's a few skeins in the shop. It is Sunday the 11th of September. They have gone in the shop this evening, you know, so you never know. There could still be 1 or 2 left in the shop. So I'm going to unwind that now. Actually, when I unwind it, you might be able to see more of the colours. But I'm going to unwind it so that I can finish drying it. You see the colours in it more now? Oh, it's so pretty there. I'm really, really loving that. So that one still needs to dry, so I shall hang that up. If you like sparkly, apparently I like blue sparkly. There's Celestial, which is the same base. Darker blues, Celestial, really pretty. A friend of mine did a shawl in this and it was absolutely gorgeous. If you want more autumnal colours, we have Oxblood, this deep dark reddy brown, which is on the 75% merino, 25% nylon, no sparkle in this one, soft sock. So we have Oxblood. We have Hazelnut, which is another nice autumnal one. So it's tonal browns, also on the soft sock. So those are going into the shop, or have gone into the shop today. And we have this one called Bonfire Latte. So you've got the kind of reds and oranges of bonfires in then with the browns and a few blue speckles. So Bonfire Latte on the soft sock base. And lastly, this one, which isn't autumnal, this is just, I think it was one of those where I had got some colours left over and just kind of threw them into the pot. Actually, I really like these. There's another one called Sweet Like Candy, which is kind of a more muted version of this. This one, the colours are a bit brighter. And I've called this one Spritz. So it's a bit more summery, actually. You want something with a bit more splash of colour. And you can see you've got sort of the pinks, greens, blues, really pretty. Also on the soft sock, so that's gone into the shop today as well. So take a look if you're interested in anything. I do ship internationally as well. But yeah, so I'm going to start deciding what sock pattern I'm going to use for this gorgeous skein. Happy knitting. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.